September 15, 1940. The weather had shifted, and the clouds hung low over southern England. The air was thick with anticipation. The Battle of Britain had reached its climax, and the Luftwaffe's offensive was at its peak. The Germans were determined to bring Britain to its knees, but the British pilots had learned one undeniable truth over the past few months. The Spitfire was the key to their survival. The day had been marked as crucial. The Luftwaffe had launched a massive bombing raid on London, and British intelligence had already predicted an overwhelming response. The Luftwaffe's primary target was the RAF's airfields, which were essential for maintaining the defense of Britain. If the Germans could destroy these airfields, the British would lose the ability to stage their aircraft, and victory would be in their grasp. Squadron Leader Brown was in the briefing room once again, the weight of the day's mission pressing down on his shoulders. The roar of Spitfires starting their engines was a familiar sound now, but this time it felt different. This would be the day that decided whether Britain would remain defiant or fall to the Luftwaffe. As he reviewed the map of the battle area, Brown knew that the Spitfire's role was now more vital than ever. The aircraft had already proven itself in countless dogfights, but today it would be tested to the limit. As the squadron took to the skies, the mission was clear: intercept the incoming German bombers and protect the vital airfields from destruction. The Spitfires climbed swiftly into the sky, their engines humming with purpose. Squadron Leader Brown took a deep breath, his focus now completely on the task at hand. The battle would be fierce, and the Luftwaffe would be coming in full force. The first waves of German bombers appeared on the horizon. Brown squinted against the sunlight as the familiar shapes of the Luftwaffe aircraft began to materialize. Below, the cities of London and its surrounding areas lay vulnerable, their defenses stretched thin. The Spitfires, now a force to be reckoned with, would be the last line of defense. As the first German bombers reached the target area, the Spitfires swooped in. Squadron Leader Brown and his pilots dove into the fray with practiced precision. The sky was filled with the cacophony of gunfire and the roar of engines as the two forces collided. The Bf-109s came at them in force, but the Spitfires moved with a grace and agility that was nearly impossible to match. Brown's hands were steady as he dived after a Bf-109, the familiar rush of adrenaline sharpening his senses. The battle was intense. German bombers were dropping their payloads, while their escorts, the Bf-109s, fought fiercely to protect them. But the Spitfires, though outnumbered, had one crucial advantage. They were faster, more agile, and could turn tighter than their opponents. As Brown engaged another Bf-109, he twisted his Spitfire in a steep dive, using the aircraft's superior agility to get behind the German fighter. He squeezed the trigger, and the Bf-109 erupted in flames, spiraling toward the earth below. The air was thick with the smell of smoke and the sounds of dogfights. Around him, British pilots were locked in their own battles. The Spitfires were everywhere, darting in and out of combat with deadly precision. In the heat of the engagement, the Luftwaffe fighters began to break formation, their once confident assault unraveling under the relentless onslaught of the Spitfires. The German pilots, unable to match the Spitfire's maneuverability, were being picked off one by one. By the time the last of the German bombers were forced to turn back, the sky over southern England had been transformed. The once imposing threat of the Luftwaffe seemed to have been diminished, if only for a moment. The RAF had won the day. The Spitfire, with its unmatched agility and design, had once again proven itself to be stronger than the German fighters. As Squadron Leader Brown led his squadron back to base, the realization began to settle in. The Battle of Britain was far from over, but the Spitfire had turned the tide. It was no longer just a symbol of British hope, it was the spearhead of their defense. Without it, the outcome of the battle would have been very different. The legacy of the Spitfire would live on, not only in the history books, but in the hearts of those who had flown it. The pilots, once uncertain of its potential, now regarded the Spitfire as their most trusted companion. It had proven itself time and again, and as the war progressed, the Spitfire would continue to serve as the backbone of Britain's aerial defense, a testament to the ingenuity and determination of the men and women who fought to protect their homeland. The Battle of Britain was not just a victory of tactics and strategy, it was a victory of innovation, of courage, and of a machine that had been underestimated but had risen to the challenge. The Spitfire had not only protected the skies, but had helped secure the future of Britain, and in doing so, it had changed the course of the war.